Okay, good morning, piikani. This message is intended for Piikani First Nation members. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt condolences to the family of Walter Smith in the loss of your sibling, father, grandfather, uncle, and most importantly, a good friend to many. I have fond memories of Walter as someone who always greeted me to an infectious big smile. Thank you, Walter, for the life you led, and may you rest in peace. Over the holiday season, the loss of our loved ones has pretty well nearly touched all clans and families in Piikani, as it has been a tough start to the new year 2022. Condolences to all the families that are experiencing a loss at this time, and know as a community we will persevere. What I'm about to talk about is a risk, and it's something that I have thought about for a while now, as I will no doubt be met with comments from certain nation members that do not necessarily agree with my opinions. However, someone once told me that prudent leadership is being willing to take a risk no matter the outcome, and that is what I will be doing today as I address piikani. My comments are not meant as a personal attack on anyone, but rather an opportunity to speak to the facts that are affecting the wellness in our community. So let me begin by saying that we are all pretty well aware that there has been a movement initiated by a nation member calling for nominations and an election for piikani leadership. That nomination day is approaching and is set for January 20th in a few days. I have some concerns with this call for an election as being legitimate and valid. I am aware that there has been an application filed with the federal court, and while I do support some of those allegations levied against our current leadership, and I commend the applicant for the work that is being done thus far. An argument that is often referred to is a referendum that was posed to the membership in 2014 that validates an election call where the membership voted in favor of a 3-year term. I have done extensive and detailed research on that referendum that was done in 2014, and these are the factual findings. Although 50% plus one was met to vote in favor of the 3-year term, what the referendum failed to do was meet the 60% participation from members to be engaged in a referendum. Council of the Day set a 60% participation of eligible voters, and that threshold was never met, and unfortunately the 4-year term stands, which brings an illegitimate election to be held in early January 2023, as our last election was held in January of 2019. Another issue that needs to be addressed is only the Minister of Crown can approve an election through a band council resolution from the current Chief and Council, or the federal court can order an election. It is my understanding that neither of those has happened. Yes, there has been court action filed, but the federal court has not ruled on that action as of yet, and we will probably not see that happen for quite some time, as there are many allegations within that one application that the court must consider. In our most recent and current election code, only the sitting Chief and Council can appoint a Chief Electoral Officer through the issuance of a duly elected Band Council resolution. That has not happened, and that is a fact. One of the allegations that the application has referenced in the court application is the amount of legal fees that the nation has incurred to defend past and present court actions against the nation. While this may be true, the irony of this allegation is that once again the nation is having to incur legal fees by this most recent court application filed by the applicant, as our legal fees will continue to escalate. I caution our community to exercise prudence in participating in this call for new nominations and an election in February, as this election is simply not valid for reasons stated above. The alleged nomination calls for a $500 fee for a council position and an $800 fee for chief. This is a lot of money for most of us, myself included. Please consider your options with certainty. Should this nomination and election move forward that is not sanctioned will only further divide and create uncertainty in our community, and Piikani does not need that at this time. I cannot tell you what to do. I can only ask that you please heavily weigh your options and carefully make your own decisions, as there is a lot at stake. I would not be weighing in on my thoughts by posting this message if I did not feel strongly in my concerns in protecting Piikani for all of us. Also, you can bet that if this election was valid, I would be home in Piikani in a heartbeat, participating in some way, shape, or form. One thing I want to be clear on before I close is that this message today should not be interpreted as supporting or condoning the actions of our current Chief and Council. I, for one, have a lot of concerns with our current leadership that I've chosen to address through other means, and I will continue to raise that awareness when it presents itself at an opportune time. I am aware that I may receive some messaging that may be destructive, because that's what happens when we present an opinion in a public forum, as there are always two sides to the coin. But like I said earlier, good leadership is about being willing to take risks, and that is what I have done today. Please continue to pray for Piikani, as we are still in the midst of a pandemic and the numbers are on the rise at home. Thank you.